Actually, before we get into the details, I want to do a simple survey. Roxy, you first. Do you think Leicester or Spurs can win the league this season? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to say, yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Because I'm wearing this shirt, I don't have the ground to say anything now. It's still very early in the season after only 8 rounds, but let me give you some stats first. So 8 games into last season, the champions of last season, Liverpool, were top of the league. 8 games into the season before, champions Man City were top of the league. 8 games into the 17-18 season, champions of that season, Man City were top of the league. We're here looking at Leicester and Spurs, first and second of the league. Why do you think they can't win the league, Roxy?
I think with Leicester, I don't think we're going to get that Leicester fairy tale ever again. I think some people generally want to see Mourinho do well and actually kind of put 2 fingers up to everyone and be like, you know, I'm still a great manager. And so I was kind of warm to the idea, but at the same time, I just don't think they'll be able to do it. I think it'll be a Liverpool-Man City tournament and maybe Chelsea might just sneak in.
If you had to push me for a yes or no, I'd go with no, because apart from the year we got 100 points, I think most seasons we do go through a tough patch, and I think we've had a tough patch to start the season, and we still, if we win our game in hand, we're only 3 points off the top of the table. I just think that it's been such a strange start to the season that I can't see these mad results continuing throughout the whole course of the season. Leicester are a good side. Leicester have a good setup. They have a very good manager. I think Brendan Rodgers is a very underrated manager, and I think he will possibly be in line to get sort of a job at one of the big clubs in the future, with all due respect to Leicester. One of the clubs with a bigger budget, sort of the teams that are expected to win the league, rather than Leicester, who keep overachieving year on year.
Okay, Matt, overachieving year after year. So do you agree with that?
Yeah, that made me smile. That keeps getting trotted out, that overachieving, and what Leicester are doing, hopefully, and will continue to do, is kind of redefining that, and who are these big clubs and who is that big six, and who's to say that we can't kick on and win the league this year, or get close to it anyway, at least, and for years to come, you know. So I think it's interesting when people still now talk about that kind of like the big six, and I don't who are the big six nowadays. I don't think it really exists like it used to.
I agree with you on the big six thing. It's more like a financial big six rather than the standings. Chris, you weren't a fan of Mourinho when he came in. I guarantee you guys, he hated it when Mourinho came in. But it looks like what he's doing now is working for the team. And
yeah.
What's your feeling about Mourinho now, and how has it given you that confidence that you're gonna go on to win the league?
On the whole, I think we look less Spursy. We look more well-drilled. Players like Lamela and Lo Celso, who like to get a little bit of a niggle in and aren't afraid to play dirty and things like that. We're going to places like Burnley and West Brom, which are really difficult places to go away, and we're coming back with 3 points. And it's those games, like grinding out the result, that ultimately wins you the league.
Leicester are missing, as you said, Soyuncu, Pereira and Lydia now. These are very important players. But when you watch them play, it's not that noticeable. Is it fair to say that Leicester are dealing with the injuries better than City and Liverpool? Because it's in a season like this, the ability to deal with injuries is very, very important. I
think they have dealt with the injuries a lot better, but the problem with Leicester is I think they do need more players. So if they get another injury, maybe in the next few weeks, what are they going to do? I guess we've got options where, a team like Leicester don't. So I don't know. I think they're dealing with it great now, but let's see.
If you look at all the managers in the league and the way they're performing with the squads they've got, you've got to put, Brendan Rodgers certainly up there at the top, as well as Mourinho, because again, I've watched that Spurs documentary, as I'm sure you guys all probably have as well, and as much as it's made me hate Harry Kane more than I've ever hated him in my life, it's made me really like Jose Mourinho, and I think he's a really good manager. So what they're doing with the squads that they've got with injuries and everything, I just think the managers are really doing a really good job at both Spurs and Leicester at the minute, and that is one of the key things as to why they are achieving as well as they are doing so far this season.
Rodgers is adapting his tactics and his formations and all that week in, week out, depending on who the opposition are. You see the games that we've played recently where we've gone and we've blown teams away, and then we've played Wolves the other day, and really the second half we've sort of just dug in and got through 45 minutes to hang on to a win. We weren't really capable of doing that last season. Like, we had more sort of one way of playing, whereas this season feels like we can grind out a result.
As a Man United fan, we talk a lot about how good Ferguson was towards the end of his career because he didn't have a very good squad. And he was able to get results even when United weren't playing well. And we've seen this from Spurs quite a few times this season. A goal on the 76th minute to beat Burnley 1-0. A goal on the 73rd minute to beat Brighton 2-1. And 88th minute to beat West Brom. What does that say about Spurs?
It is the sign of a winning team, of a winning mentality, when you cannot play your best, but you still come away with the 3 points.
Just as a Spurs fan, do you see this lasting?
That is a hard question. My heart says yes. My head says something's going to go wrong. We're looking at signing back Eriksen, and that could really be, that would be the cherry on the cake. That would really be. And then if Poch came in as assistant manager, then just all my dreams would come true.
Signing back Eriksen and Poch going back as assistant manager, that's some season now for Spurs.
Yeah.
What needs to go wrong for Liverpool and Man City? I mean, it's still a very, very open race. What needs to go wrong for these two teams for them to realistically not be in the race?
Well, I don't think we can afford any more injuries. If we were to lose our goalkeeper, again, I think if anything was to happen to Alisson, I think we'd be pretty much screwed. I think we'd be looking at like a third or something, which is devastating.
For me, we need to start turning these draws into wins. 2 years ago when we pipped Liverpool by a point, we only drew 2 games all season. Liverpool obviously only lost 1. But they drew 7. If you'd have told me a couple of years ago that the issue with City would lie with not scoring enough goals rather than conceding too many, I'd have called you mad. So, yeah, if we can start to find a way just to score more goals and sort of capitalise when we're on top in games, I think we'll be all right.
A lot of people say that Leicester can win the league, and Tottenham as well, but only a few people have said they will. What needs to happen for you to think that you will win the league?
It's the cliches of just keeping everybody fit and just keeping the momentum going, and there's sort of one game at a time and all that nonsense. But that's exactly what it is. It's just forget the bigger picture and just keep doing what we're doing, really, because at the moment we're doing most things pretty right.
For me, the real challenge is this next run of fixtures that we're about to go into. We've got like City and Villa, and I think we've got Liverpool and North London Derby and Chelsea. That's like the real test. Mourinho's been there for a year, fully fit squad, firing on all cylinders. There's no excuses. So this next period is the biggest challenge. Just got to win.
OK， 那么这一期视频就到这里了。那么你们觉得这个赛季莱斯特城或者热刺有没有可能赢下英超冠军呢？把你们的想法留在评论区里，别忘了点赞、转发、关注我们。下期再见。